Hello and welcome to this week's video. I'll be using a photograph of myself with two of my friends' children and this white Limetree cardstock. Now I'm taking a toilet roll holder here and dipping it into some black paint, and I'm going to be creating my backdrop. So I am just making circles in a triangular effect. I'm going to have quite a lot of circles on the right hand side here and then mash that up with a smaller section on the left hand side, and my picture will be going in between the two. So I've as I say, just used this toilet roll holder. Now I'm going to be using my paintbrush to add some flicks and little splashes, so slightly harder to get bigger ones and slightly gentler for the small ones. This seems to go everywhere. You can see a piece to the left that's gone all over my table, so I did clean this up before using the heat gun to dry this off so that we can continue with the rest of the page. So the rest of the page I'm going to be, didn't want these black splatters here, so I've cleaned those up with a bit of white, and now I'm going to be using some Shimmerz Paints to add some colour to this background here. Love the Shimmerz Paints. They are full of shimmer and bling, and they are just absolutely gorgeous colours. So the colours in the photograph are kind of quite muted, so I don't want big bold colours in this page, so I'm wearing sort of a lilac-y top, and we've got a little bits of blue and just lots of light colour in this picture, so that's what I'm doing. Now you can see me heating from behind here, so that is so that you to try to minimize the warp. You're doing wet paper, and you are going to get some warp. No matter what you do, no matter what type of paper you use, you are going to get some warp. So you just got to accept that. But to minimize that, you can use the heat gun on both sides of the paper to try to minimize the warp. So far I've used Sugar Plum colour in the shimmers here, and now I'm using It's Meant to Be. I really like this colour. I use this one quite a lot. The Sugar Plum is just a nice purple colour to match with my top. This sort of matches with some of the colour in the pram, and here I am. Between each colour I will use my heat gun to dry off so that I don't get any merging of colour. I want these to be pure of each colour, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't mingle them. So that's two colours down. We're going to come in now with a third colour. This is Iris My Case. I love these colours, but sometimes I have problems pronouncing them. So this is a sort of purpley blue, or a darker purple, guess you might say. And so that's going in there. So we've got pinky purple, we've got a minty colour, and we've got a darker purple. And as I keep saying, you heat from the back as well so that you get rid of some of the warp. So it's not warping too badly because the Limetree paper is a fantastic thick cardstock. You can see there's a bit of water on my table there. That's just from me putting the paint on the top and using the heat gun. It creates that wetness on your mat or on your table, as in my case. So that's why it's best to heat on both sides of the paper. Coming in now with the colour Key Lime, just to pick up some of the green in this page. Or in my photo, sorry. There's not a lot of greenery. It was quite a bare area here. Actually, there's a tiny little bit of greenery on it, so I'm bringing that in. And now I'm using a peachy colour, which is called Going Peach Side. I haven't used this colour before, and actually I was using it and I was really loving it. Not exactly sure I'd say I guess it is a peach. I think more of an apricot, but I guess they're very similar in colour. But I really like this, so I think I'm going to be using this one again really soon because it was really lovely. So those are the 5 colours I use. I'm not going to use any more, and I'm really liking how this is coming up. Not entirely happy about the little white splashes at the bottom, and actually off camera I do paint that completely out because you can see me coming in again and touching up and then bending my paper. But I do actually off camera completely white out those, and it has been done now. And wow, I did not realize my light was on so high for this part of the filming, so I apologize. But I'm just getting out some Shimelle Laine American Crafts papers that I've got, which I absolutely adore the colors in this collection. It is a collection from 2014, so it has been hanging around for a while, although not in my collection. I did buy a pack of, a friend was selling some papers that she was trying to get rid of, and I did buy her Shimelle Laine pack, and there's quite a few different Shimelle Laine cardstock in it. This one here is from the Head and Clouds collection, this purple one. And that is a 2018 collection by Shimelle Laine. And I figured that worked absolutely perfectly for this page. So I write on the back of my photographs the dates and sometimes names. So I'm just writing that on my little notepad before I stick that down onto the card. I don't know how many times I make sure I write the dates on the back of my photographs so I know when they were taken, and the amount of times I've gone and I've scrapped the page and I've stuck it down without writing it down, I can't tell you how many times I've done it. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I keep this notebook now to try to remind myself just before sticking anything down to write down the date. Because I don't really want to have to go through all of my photographs again to try to find out when a particular photograph was taken, especially when it's something that might not be anything in particular, like one of the photographs of the cats or whatever. It's impossible to say when it was taken. So I keep my stamps in these large file boxes, and this stamp box is for words and letters. And numbers. So I'm taking out some of the word sheets I've got here. Now I have like a Perspex piece that I stamp onto with some of them, and I have done that with this to try to work out what a stamp says, and I'm picking out a few little words and phrases that I like the size of to fit with this page, and that the quotes go with the page. So I've used words like forever and thanks, lots of fun. Here I've come in with hashtag love this. I've also got words like adorable, here and now, near and far, wow, everything is awesome, and things like that. So I'm just looking to see what I have got. Some of these I'm just having a look to see what they actually say, but they end up all being sort of Christmassy, retirement, those sorts of quotes, birthday card, sort of card pages really, or card stamps. So I'm just trying to find some others that I want to use on here. So we're going in there with this one says thanks, and I'm just using a selection. They're all different cards from all different brands. This one's an Amy Tangerine collection of stamps, and I'm just going to use this one stamp that says this is real. I keep moving my photograph off the page. Of course, I have put the photograph on 2 layers of paper cardstock, and I've also laid the photograph up so that I can put in an insert with my hidden journaling. So if I was to lay this down, I would not get a very good stamp if I'm trying to stamp around it. So that's why I didn't actually glue this down onto the page as yet, even though I know exactly where it's going to go, so that I can hopefully get some nice stamping done and get that out the way. So now I'm coming in a little bit of Memento ink here with a stamp that I'm just folding because I want little bits of this. This is a brickwork pattern, and now I'm coming in with 2 stamps on Distress ink in Weathered Wood, which is a grey colour, and these 2 stamps, one is a text and one is a mock text. It's kind of like little wavy lines and dots. It doesn't actually say anything, and I've just stamped that around the page just to give more definition and texture, or more things for your eye to look at. And now I'm coming in with some hearts in the purple. These are Versacolor ink pads, and we have Misty Mauve and Seafoam are the two colours. Unfortunately, Seafoam wasn't really coming out with all the other embellishments on the page. You can't really see those ones because it's a very faint colour. So now I'm ready to stick my photograph down because I've got my background as I would like it. I've made sure that I can see the hashtag love this and the this is right now, and my picture's gone in between those. So now pulling out from this American Arts, it's called Magic, these alphas. I wanted to spell out the word Sweet Day. Put that up the top of the page, and I was intending on leaving it there, although I wasn't entirely happy. It didn't seem to fill up that area, or it made it look too cluttered, I thought. But when I'm going through the pictures here, I really wanted to use this picture of the girl, and the only place it goes really is up at the top. So I've moving my title down the bottom, and actually it's a little bit more balanced. It doesn't look so cluttered because there's a little bit of white space before you have your circles and your inked and stamped background. So it actually feels a little bit better there. It's not quite as claustrophobic as it felt on the top. And I'm putting this girl, I think she's absolutely fantastic with her sunglasses and her cheeky little smile. So I thought she perfectly looked a bit like Tabitha's smile in the photograph. Now I love these cameras. I wanted to use a purple one and a minty coloured one. Didn't like that title, so I put the purple one down, and I end up cutting this little journal card down just so that I've got the camera to layer, and I'm just having a look through the stickers and trying to work out what I want to do, where I want things to go, and just build up this page a little bit. I don't want to put too big a cluster or too many clusters on this page because I want the background to speak for itself and be the main element on here. But I'm just having a look through. There's a little tag here which I quite like. It doesn't really fit on the side, and I remember, of course, I'm going to be pulling out my journaling, so I don't want too much there. I take the tab bit off and think, well, maybe I'll use it as a little bit extra journaling and put it to the side here. So now I'm just rounding the corners on the top of that so it matches the bottom, and pop that in place there. Not really sure, going through and seeing what else I have, and I do really like this out saving the world words. So I take that writing from the left hand side of my photograph and work out where I can put this. It is quite shimmery, and so it matches the glasses and a little bit of shimmer in one of the cameras, so it kind of matches all together. So I decide I'm going to stick that on the top there, so it's kind of not really defining who's saying that, as if we're all saying it. And I'm just mounting this on a foam pad so that I can stick this down, and the bottom part will stick because it's a sticker on straight onto my photograph. So I put that down, and I am just going to put these cameras here. I don't really think I want to put too much else here, but it needs a little bit of something. So I look through these ephemera. I don't really have a lot left, but there's two little clouds, and I thought to myself, oh, those two clouds might be perfect. One underneath the camera, just to give a little bit of definition and to give a little bit more white space, and the other one I can use on a tag. So that's what I'm just doing here, just working out to make sure that this fits in place. So I glue the cloud on, and I am almost finished here. I go through the stickers and think, oh, there's that wander, and I really like that as well. We might put that on the top of the journaling card, so that's the first thing you see when you pull it out. Rather than going over the cloud, I've stuck it straight onto the card. So when you pull that out, you just see the word wonder, which I thought was quite nice. And on the back, I'll do my journaling. So we're pretty much finished here. So the last thing to pop on, as always, is my cat, which is going to hide somewhere in these circles. I initially tried at the bottom, but I thought I'd stick it in the middle there because there's quite a lot of full on bold stamping of the circles, and you've got here some close-ups of some of the page. I hope you like this. I hope it gets you inspired and out there crafting this week, and I will see you again next week. Bye.